rusty metal refrigerators. It's a junkyard. This is the most dilapidated yet. I think this one has squatters. Take a look. Just close. The road is over. And now it's this. Here I am with my trusty steed, the complex, the majestic, magnificent Scoopy. Me and Scoopy will spend the next few days exploring abandoned French villas and some more interesting, complicated bits. After catching the sunrise off of Cambodia's southern coast, we're heading towards the mountains. It's a relatively uneventful 2-hour drive, except for crossing what seems to be the country's most dangerous bridge. These are the foothills of Mount Bokor, a foggy mountain refuge that has been almost entirely abandoned despite being a hotspot for Cambodian royalty and wealthy French during the colonial era. Since then, it has become a desolate ruin full of squatters, decay, and lately, Chinese investors and real estate mafias who intend to turn this area into a chain of casinos, or at least take the cash from the people that believe it can be one. But somehow, I have my doubts. I don't know what this would have been a parking lot for, honestly. I can't imagine any purpose for it. Massive parking lot could fit well over 100 cars. Kind of the first glimpse of the reality up here. All these mostly abandoned shells of structures. It's a bit cloudy today, so hopefully not too much rain as we go up in elevation. Although it looks like we're already starting to see the first signs of the abandoned city only 45 minutes into our drive. I don't know what the real goal is here, but there's concrete shells of tremendous amount of new production. Can't imagine there's much money to be made up here, at least not right now. For every relatively new but already decaying construction, there seems to be the equivalent in worker housing, although in seemingly dire conditions, despite all the likely permanent vacancies that surround them. Behind me is a French-made villa as a vacation home for one of the Cambodian royalty. You can see it still has some of the original etchings done. French built maybe, but they had an eye for local detail. See, this looks like, I don't know, could it have been a bathroom? The tile implies yes. Ooh, you have fine, spectacular artwork. This is interesting. This does not look stable. Concrete can degrade in as short as 20 years. And this is approaching 90 years old. Some more art. See, someone had a little bonfire here. Actually, it's just burnt garbage. It's just litter. And see, the locals have done their best to help with the foundation. Very thoughtful. It's kind of interesting because you have Art Deco style, because this was built in 1936. So the style at the time would have been these kind of Art Deco-esque, blocky, hard edges, colored tiles. Not even 2 stories. Imagine that. You're the Cambodian king and the French won't even give you a second story. This is a good place for some supplements. Supplementary items for the journey in the abandoned French colonial resort in Cambodia. Angkor beer. And I wouldn't be the first, so it would seem, by this rubbish heap. Saw the remnant of another abandoned building of some kind in the distance down this path, so I'm gonna use my Angkor holder, as one does. Let's go see the next spot. Okay, found another abandoned building. This one I don't have any context for. I'm really not sure. Something about it seems like it's gonna collapse. because I don't trust this. This structure is being held up by the slowly failing, absolutely concerning. There you go, look at that. This is the kind of shit holding the roof together. Oh, there's the Scoopy. Wow, look at that. In its natural habitat, outside of an abandoned building. Interesting. It's a friendly piece of art. Someone put some good effort into this. There's a Chinese casino that showed up near the top of this, and now it's being brought to the attention of the masses. Well, a small member of the masses. But maybe this place won't be abandoned for long. I saw one more abandoned building in this complex, the King's Complex. So I'm gonna go drive around the corner and check that out on the Scoopy. Yeah, maybe not. I think it's time to reverse out of this hell. Oh God. I'll walk down it. I'll go see what's there, but the Scoopy's not coming. Oh, this is dense. There's a lot of poisonous snakes that live here. It's a proper jungle trek in the mountainside. See if there's anything here. Yeah, we've come across a structure.
This one did not have much going on, except for some moldy coconuts and a very questionable hole in the ground. It also smelled terrible, which I can't imagine is healthy to breathe in for long. Behind it though, I noticed what I think was probably the king's servants' quarters.
Okay. This is the most dilapidated yet. Ugh. Oh, fuck. I had a thorn on it, and now that thorn is in me. This one is really left behind. Nature has taken it. There's nothing to be gathered here. It's been reclaimed by nature. But I saw in the distance something even more interesting. A staircase. Right there. Anything concrete and stone could survive, but a roof made of wood, nature wins. Look at this. The roots of these trees are sneaking their way into the building. Is there a way in? Or has nature done its job? This must have been probably living quarters for people loyal to the crown. Fuck, I almost walked into this. Let's see, this one. Probably get out of here for now. I don't know how much has changed with the development of the Chinese casino, like I mentioned. But there should be some very French leftovers. The French built a post office here. They built villas. They built resorts, 2 of them. And there's a whole city, really. At least there are remains of it, built by the French. This is the king's residence and his servants and family. And nobody's here. It's completely empty. Get through this jungle. Back to the Scoopy. Why is it that tropical places are so devilishly insistent on having everything covered in thorns, making my life painful? Okay, back to the Scoopy and off to our next stop as we head further into the mountain. Even over here you can still see the Buddha in the distance, but the fog is starting to set in. There he is. It's a little ominous, isn't it?
Due to its relatively imposing presence, I felt obligated to visit the Buddha. It's the only thing that doesn't seem abandoned here so far, with a few local families visiting together, presumably from the nearby city of Kampot, only 45 minutes down the mountain. Somewhat surprisingly though, more visitors seem to be here for the very phallic fertility shrine.
Behind me is the one of 2 big casinos built here, and I wanted to see if there's anyone there. I wanted to use the casino actually
But there's nobody there. There's no cars in the parking lot. There's no nothing. The only people here are just working. And then there was supposed to be some abandoned French villa, an old hotel for French tourists 60 years ago, but I can't find it right now. They might have tore it down. There's some remnants of what I think is old hotel. I mean, judging by the aesthetic, right? It's crumbling away. But it's not what I'm looking for. The place I'm looking for might not exist anymore, honestly. But I'll continue my search for now. But yeah, it's fucking completely abandoned. The amount of money put in this is for nothing. Absolutely insane.
Further yet up the mountain are hundreds of French-style villas and apartments, identical and unoccupied, almost appearing randomly from the hillside. In the distance, there's a stadium-sized structure that was once paneled in glass, but now stands as a monolithic ruin overlooking all of the failed projects in the area.
It's just a hyper-massive trash heap. There's clearly a project happening, but it's taking so long to do anything that it's all rusting away. Look at this beautiful chair. And it is, look at this. Rusty metal refrigerators. It's a junkyard. And a pile of chairs. If anyone needs a free and lightly used chair in Cambodia, I would say that's probably one of the #1 places for it. Now, I think these are only half abandoned. I saw a couch in one of them. There's a for rent sign. Anyone here? Don't want to trespass. Oh, but there is somebody there. There's just creaking. Any moment that will fall. In fact, the other one already has. Okay, the back door was locked. Let's see, front door. Wide open.
Many of these ruined buildings are now home to squatters, which is a common problem in Cambodia, stemming back to when the Khmer Rouge banned all forms of land ownership. Somewhat ironically though, to build these ruins, the Cambodian government removed hundreds of squatters living in the Bokor area.
Can't linger. Actually, it's time to go. I think there's a squatter living upstairs. I'm not going to invade their personal space. Well, not too much, not more than I already have. Wow, look at the Scoopy in its natural habitat.
Between all of the ruins and fog, there seems to still be an active temple complex, and one that shows considerable age. It appears that the monks who tend to it also live here, as some of the old houses are occupied and the area is, well, mostly maintained.
Now this is a particularly bizarre view. You have the abandoned buildings, failed constructions. Strange. You look way in the distance, you can see over there what used to be a French post office. One of 2 in the area. Maybe we can find a way there. It's a little precarious though.
The fog in the air is slowly being mixed with smoke, as residents and squatters alike are largely required to burn their garbage due to a lack of alternative options. At a closer look, it seems that even the temples aren't complete though, much like everything else here, as we find unused statues, building supplies, and more of the endless rubble that litters what is meant to be a national park.
Now this whole area has like a what once was kind of feeling. But it's bizarre because I see new construction being made, and then the new old construction is completely abandoned. I don't know why they think, or why anyone would think, that the ones being built today have a different fate than the ones built 10 years ago. Yeah, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be an industry big enough here to capture the desires of the government. But I think it's interesting, at least. I'm gonna go check out some
of the abandoned French buildings now. There's an old church a little ways up the mountain, built by the Colonials, as well as some other structures. And that post office I saw, I want to go visit it. So getting back on the Scoopy once more.
As I continue my drive up the mountain, there are further signs of decay. Concrete skeletons line the hillsides and children play in the streets of mostly unoccupied buildings, but I was not expecting at all to see the true extent as to what is being built here.
Let's take a look. The road is over, and now it's this. I have no idea what the purpose of all of this is. I know it's a long-term investment strategy, but looks like we have to take this road now and head that way. Alright, can the Scoopy handle it? Easily. I will not let this minor roadblock stop our journey forward.
Almost as far as the eye can see, seemingly the entire mountaintop is being raised and built up in what is surely an incredibly expensive operation. Yet those who live here and watch these seemingly meaningless transformations have the luxury of shanty towns hidden in between each of the projects.
This used to be a small hotel. Nowadays, oh wait, I'm wrong. I thought the sign, there's an old hotel sign. Thought it was for this building, but no, this is a police station. This is a French police station. That's interesting. Then during the colonial era, this would have been, oh, it's pretty gross in here.
This was apparently the main police station for the Bokor region during the colonial era, although it seems to have seen better days, as the floors have turned into a paste, and everything but the metal bars in the old jail cell appears to be rotting away.
There's nothing in here. Yeah, it's properly empty. You think I can trust these? Should I try? Oof. No, maybe not. It does not sound sturdy at all. You can see the rusted rebar sticking out of it. You can tell where someone just did what I did right now, or what I'm doing right now, and the stair failed. Is it sagging? How much is it sagging? That was not sketchy at all. Not even remotely. Someone's underwear is up here.
It seems that someone lived up here recently, as clothes are scattered around among mats and other less sightly things I am not going to be showing on camera. It's time to move on. Breathing in all of this cannot be healthy.
Alright, time to go back down this.
A few kilometers further up the mountain is an old French church that is somehow still, apparently, in relatively good condition compared to most things around here.
Behind me now is one of the biggest impressions left behind from the French here. This old abandoned church would have been built probably around 100 years ago, maybe even older. Hopefully it's not boarded up. As far as recent history is concerned, France has kind of had a major influence to a good chunk of Southeast Asia, Laos, Cambodia, most famously Vietnam. 1949 marks the end of French Indochina with Cambodia. They were granted independence just a few years after World War II, but were a French protectorate and later a colony for the most part. Starting in the 1800s, 1867, I think.
The church seems taken care of, to an extent, unlike most of the other ruins in Bokor. Naturally though, there's a lot of graffiti, but nothing has really been defaced or destroyed.
You can see the abandoned police station from Here, way in the distance. The foundation is, you can hear it when you step. The ground is hollow. The foundation is surviving though. There's shit in it. In the hole that is a toilet. Still used to this day. But I don't know why, like, why there? Like, if you're gonna shit in a place that doesn't flush, just shit in the bush. This pathway was tiled? That's strange.
Up this path is the second highest point of Mount Bokor, and our last stop will be the peak, where a French post office still stands to this day, although I heard it was recently purchased by investors for some reason.
There's 2 more places I think I want to see before the sun starts setting. I do not want to drive the Scoopy, as brilliant and reliable as it is, through the mountains at night.
Upon arrival, it seems that the reports are true. It's been bought out and even has security. Looks like I won't be breaking in today. Well, at least not into the hotel. I found something less dangerous to break into instead. A bit of a roadblock that drew some extra natural curiosity.
No entry. Should we enter anyways? Well, I broke it. Let's go pay a little visit. Let's see what they wanted to hide from me.
Surprisingly, I'm not the only one here. It seems that the delinquent Cambodian youth use this area as a hangout spot. Well, actually, what does that make me?
Maybe it's private property. This doesn't look that old. Someone uses this. Does the water run? No, the water does not run. Oh, it's terrible in here. Oh, a very gross bathroom. Well, it's not particularly remarkable here. The street youth are the only ones who broke the rules with me. Back there in the distance. They're all like 13 years old, smoking cigarettes. What's in here? It's locked. Not like that. Couldn't deter a very thrifty person.
It turns out I wasn't thrifty enough since I got glass embedded in my arm.
Take about an hour to get out of the mountains, and the sun sets in less than that, so.
It's time to head out of the mountain that has, despite many attempts, failed to keep me out very effectively. On the way back, I found one more path leading to what appears to be an abandoned reservoir. Upon arrival though, I noticed cooking stoves, motorcycle equipment, and very clear signs of life. So I decided to respect the privacy of whatever squatters have set up camp here. After all, some may have lived here since the Khmer Rouge.
I respect their privacy.
There's about 1 hour of daylight remaining, so we're heading back down the mountain, welcomed by some of the few locals that remain here. Today's journey was interesting and sad in many ways, since this is apparently what $1 billion looks like in one of Asia's poorest nations. I'm sure there were some better uses for it, but who knows, maybe the Chinese casinos will take off. Although what I saw today does not invoke much confidence. That's it for today though. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe for more bizarre adventures to come. Next week, we're entering the most remote parts of the Golden Triangle.
I'm teaching my girlfriend how to ride a motorbike right now. Look at the fucking beauty that is. The Scoopy.